At only 18 years old, Kieran started his own window washing business, branched out into power washing, and got his college degree. However, a 9-to-5 wasn't in the cards, so Kieran took his savings and jumped headfirst into portable restroom trailers.
That podcast that I watched really caught my attention. Basically, he was saying his whole framework was sell a long-term job, and after you sell the job, buy the trailer for the job.
So don't even own the trailer in advance. Sell the job first.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he did. That's what he was talking about doing.
With less than a year of experience, Kieran is already growing his trailer business into a profitable enterprise. Listen in. Kieran, welcome to the Pro Podcast. You are, from my research, you're a relatively newbie in this arena.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Jeff, for having me on. I've been in business 10 months now, since October of 2024. So, yeah, pretty new
since
here.
I can see you on a video, you seem like a pretty young guy to me. How did you fall into portable restroom trailers?
Yeah. So the first time I used a restroom trailer was about 6 years ago. I just had graduated high school. It was at my friend's grad party, actually. And I was like, that'd be a cool business. But at the time, I didn't have the funds to do it. I mean, these trailers are like $40K to start. And I'd actually just started a power washing business at that time. So not only did I not have the funds, I didn't have the time or the resources at all. So kind of put that idea on the back burner. I was like, that's not realistic right now in my current situation. Fast forward a few years, I got sick of the power washing business. It was mildly successful and whatnot, but it wasn't long term. It wasn't what I wanted to do long term. And
let's talk about that. Let me pause you.
Yeah.
So you're like 20 years old or 18 years old, and you start your own power washing business.
Yeah, 18.
Okay, you're 18 years old. You start your own power washing business. You're in the Austin, Texas area.
So I'm in the Buffalo, New York area at this time, actually.
Okay, so where were you power washing? Austin or Buffalo?
Buffalo. I actually just moved to Austin in June of 2024.
Okay, you're power washing in Buffalo, and you start this just as essentially, I'm going to call you a kid. You're 18 years old, right out of high school. What makes you want to do this? You kind of you must have the itch, like an entrepreneurial itch to some degree.
Yeah, I would definitely say so. I don't think I've always had that itch. And when I had turned 18, I always thought I had to wait until I was 18 to do something like legit, like start a power washing business. So, the minute I turned 18, it actually started as a window cleaning business because it was a very cheap barrier to entry to me. Literally got a few squeegees, got like a $800 a year insurance policy, and started knocking doors doing window cleaning. But that soon graduated into power washing. I got a truck and a whole setup going. But
how did you finance all that when you're only 18 years old?
Yeah, so the window cleaning business, I started it out of my Volvo S60. It was like 06 Volvo S60. I got a little giant ladder, which is like a collapsible ladder. And then it could fully extend to 21 feet. And I was able to squeeze that in my Volvo S60. And from there, I was able to knock out a few jobs, or quite a few jobs. And then that summer I got a truck. And it was a cheap truck. It was a 04 F-150. It was like $4,000, 170,000 miles. So we started super lean. And then, it's still power washing wasn't that expensive to get into. I spent, after my first year window cleaning, I got into power washing and I spent about $3,000 on the power washer and then maybe $5,000 total on the entire setup.
If you're comfortable sharing revenue, your first year in business doing the window washing / power washing, what kind of revenue are you generating?
Yeah. So year one was super light. It was literally like, I wasn't doing it full time at all. Year one, I think I did only about 25,000 in revenue for that window cleaning business. Year two is when it took off.
And as you said, you were door knocking. What else are you doing to get that first business of yours started? Are you Facebook posting, or is it all just literally kind of grinding word of mouth?
Yeah. So I was initially started out door knocking, going door to door storefronts, actually, like commercial storefronts, nail salons, strip malls, stuff like that. That was okay. But yeah, I got a lot of business the first year through actually Facebook ads, and posting in local Facebook groups.
The communities, yeah, that is a good resource for stuff like that. You grow into the power washing. It costs you like let's call it 10 grand to get into the power washing. Does your revenue start to increase then once you add the power washing?
drastically. Like my average ticket, like window cleaning is not a high ticket service. I'm not going to say power washing is either, but my ticket went from window cleaning like 250 per job ish to now power washing. We're doing power washing packages, like window cleaning with power washing, minimum $500. And we could do multiple jobs per day. So during the busy seasons, I got up to a point where in June of 2021, I did, I think, 22K in revenue that month. And it was just me. And I was just turned 20 at the time. And that was like, it was a lot of money for me at the time. So we scaled to a point where we were doing over
$22,000 a month is a lot of money for anybody.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially if you can scale that into an annual type thing. Now, Buffalo has to be tough though, because I would imagine it's completely seasonal. I would think you're probably like May through September.
Yeah, exactly. And when I say we did 20K a month, that's 2 months of the year. May and June were like the busy seasons. After that, August of that year dropped down to like 10K a month, like in half. And then completely zero during the winter. So
you're basically making like 60, let's call it 40 to $60,000 a year. I assume you're probably still like living with your folks or something like that, because that's really not enough to be able to kind of sustain the business and a personal, like all your expenses, or is it?
Yeah. So in 2021, that was I did in profit, we did about 65. And so it was enough to live in Buffalo. I was living with my parents at the time. Still, I was actually a full-time student in college too, going to my local university. But yeah, it was enough. If I wanted to, like say, do that, I could do it, but it wouldn't be like, it would be tight.
At what point are you looking at, okay, this isn't my long term, this isn't what I want to do? You also said did you graduate from college?
Yeah, I graduated college 2 years ago.
What's your degree in?
Data analytics and marketing, business administration. Yeah.
Okay. Did you feel like that college degree was your fallback, or like what were you, because if you had this itch to do your own thing, I'm questioning why you felt you needed a college degree at all.
Yeah, that's a great question. I was really to satisfy my parents. My parents were big on like like if it was up to me, I would have never went to college in the first place, and they'll tell you this too. Like I had multiple talks with them, like while I was doing my power washing business. I was like, hey, like I want to just do this like full time, whatever. But I was living with them, and like, I did it for them basically, not for myself. And yeah.
Because the service industry right now is ridiculous, which does not require a college degree. You look at plumbers and electricians and porta potties, and honestly, even there's a lot of successful pressure and window washing businesses out there that have scaled and become, they own entire areas. And I think it's interesting that you were already kind of thinking that way, and that you followed through with your degree, because college does give you some fundamentals, some things that are like good to know.
Yeah.
But I really think the on-the-job stuff that you learn by trial and error. Let's use pressure washing as an example. Anyone thinks you can pick up a pressure washer and just start blasting stuff. I mean, I would imagine that you had to have a few oops in there where you're like, oh man.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, we were using a lot of chemicals. So like we say power washing, but it's actually soft washing. So we spray chemicals all over the house. And yeah, it can get, if you don't know what you're doing, you can wreak a lot of havoc.
Yeah, you're blasting siding or shingles off of somebody's house. You probably learn in a hurry that can get costly. You're scaling this original business of yours. At what point do you realize, like, I want to step away from this and do something different? And why did you want to do that?
I think it was the fall of 2021. I just actually had like the best year of business, but I was looking ahead long term. I knew I didn't want to live in Buffalo. Like I love Buffalo, but I didn't want to live there for the rest of my life.
Were you born and raised Buffalo?
I was born in Philadelphia, and then my family moved up to Buffalo when I was 13.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I'm from Buffalo. I lived there from ages 22 to 23, or 13 to 23. But yeah, anyway, like fall of 2021, I started thinking like more long-term of what I wanted to do. I was kind of at a point where I was like, okay, I'm doing so much work with the power washing. Like it's getting to the point where if I want to continue to grow this, like I'm going to have to hire people and I'm going to have to do this stuff, which I was open to doing, but I was big on the online forums. There's power washing forums that like I basically got all my knowledge from, and just talking to the guys on there. It seemed like a lot of them weren't very happy with like their power washing business that they had scaled. Like, so from my frame of mind, I was like, if I'm going to put the effort into scaling a business, I would rather do something that's more scalable and easier to scale, or something that's more sustainable long term. Because these power washing guys weren't exactly like inspiring confidence in like the long term outlook for me. So, yeah.
So go back to that graduation party, and you said that was kind of your first experience in the restroom trailer, which you go back to that thought, and you're like, oh yeah, like
Yeah.
Is that literally what happened? It was
No.
always kind of like floating around in the back of your head.
Yeah. So no, I completely like put that in the back of my mind. Wasn't really thinking about it at all. Fast forward a few years, well, up until last year, I graduated college, got a 9-to-5, working a remote job. It's okay. It was okay. It was actually a pretty good paying job. But I got the itch again to start a business like right away. I was like, damn, I need to get back in there. So I started tossing around ideas. I knew what I wanted to do next. I didn't want it to be super like tied to, I mean, I'm still open to doing like labor and stuff, right? But I didn't want it to be like I'm on a ladder all day, I'm doing all this like power exterior washing work. And I also had a significant amount of money I was able to save up from my power washing business. So I was ready to invest a considerable amount of capital into something. And I was tossing around ideas, but restroom trailers kept coming back to my mind. I kept thinking about that time I first used that restroom trailer. And it checked a lot of boxes for me, like the barrier to entry to restroom trailers. I mean, you got to have the money to get in. And
well, to your point, a trailer is anywhere from $40,000 to $140,000, depending on what you're doing.
Yeah.
They're relatively hard to find used. Sometimes there's a wait for new ones, but beyond just the trailer itself, there's a lot of things you don't know there until you find out you don't know.
Oh yeah.
And maybe we're going to go down that road later in this conversation, but when you're sitting there and you're drawing this out on paper, where are you getting, like, how are you researching this and figuring out like, oh, I'm just going to buy this trailer and I'm going to park it places, I'm going to make money?
Yeah. So I'm always big on like finding the online community for like the business that I'm about to start or the business that I'm in. So, I mean, like I said, I was tossing around a bunch of ideas. I was joining all these Facebook groups for like, I tossed around the idea of like stump grinding, like getting, you know, buying an expensive stump grinder, doing that. Even septic pumping, I explored a little bit. So either way, I'm in all these Facebook groups, and I'm in the restroom trailer Facebook group. And I actually watched the podcast that Lang put out for this guy who owns the laboratory. They operate mainly on the West Coast. And that podcast that I watched, and it was a video they posted on their YouTube, really caught my attention. And basically, he was saying his whole framework was sell a long-term job, and after you sell the job, buy the trailer for the job.
So don't even own the trailer in advance. Sell the job first.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he did. That's what he was talking about doing. And I've actually done that twice now with two of my trailers. So that whole model, that whole business model really sparked my interest. And I was like, after I watched that video, I was like, okay, I think this is the business I want to get into. Because now he has like 200 plus trailers and is able to grow massively.
So I love what you're saying there. You're like, sell the job first, then get the trailer. That's all dependent on knowing you can get a trailer. So good. But let's get back to, again, the core business itself isn't just dropping a trailer. How are you servicing it?
Yeah, so we currently pay, I don't have a pump truck yet. We currently pay, or I say we, I always act like I'm a bigger business than I am. I currently pay a porta potty company in South Austin to pump out my trailers. He charged me a very good rate. It's like $125, $150 a pump, depending on where it is at the time. So I pay them to pump it, but then I am responsible for cleaning the inside and doing all that.
So this is one of those things where, I mean, you're probably, and this isn't to dismiss it, it's like you can probably, how many hours a week are you putting in?
Um,
In this, and just on the maintenance side, not talking about like trying to sell additional. I'm saying, how many hours a week are you putting in going out there and cleaning your trailers? And because you're subbing out the actual pumping,
yeah.
you're just going out every day to check on them and make sure they're tidy.
Yeah. So the two trailers that I have on long terms right now, I go out, they're actually only about 15 minutes from my house, which is nice. So I go out once a week, just to make sure like things are like, I'll just do a quick check on them, make sure nothing's leaking or anything like that. So, and then my one trailer I have for events, it takes about 2 hours to clean it post event for me, because I really like to do like a deep full clean. So yeah, I mean, overall, the actual work, the physical work that I'm doing is like no more than 10 hours a week, in actually like dropping off trailers and checking on things and cleaning things. A lot of my work is trying to drum up new work. But yeah, I don't know if that answered your question.
No, it did. Well, let's get back to you land a single contract. How are you finding the work? Is it the same thing, jumping on a community forum or?
Yeah, so I've found, so let me just give you a little background about my business. I have 3 trailers right now. 2 of them are on long-term rentals that are going to go until 2025 or 2026. And one of my trailers is for events. I actually sub out a lot of jobs to another company here that's up north, because I only have one trailer for events and I get a lot of event inquiries. So basically I sublease their trailers. And what I found that works great for events for me so far has been Facebook advertising.
Just local to the Austin area?
Local to the Austin area. And when I say Facebook ads, I mean actually going in and creating a Facebook campaign. I don't mean boosting your latest Facebook post. Like go in there and create a campaign, create a detailed audience, make a nice creative, and then drum up some good copy, and then mix and match all those concepts until you find a winning ad.
Well, that's probably, let's go back to your education. You have a degree in, let's just call it marketing. That had to help you there. I will tell you, Facebook advertising can be daunting to people who don't understand it, and also extremely expensive.
Yeah,
especially again, if you don't know what you're doing. To your point, a boosted post isn't Facebook advertising. A boosted post is just wasting however many dollars you put on that boosted post, my opinion.
Yeah.
You've got this Facebook advertising out there, and it's obviously creating leads for you. You're subbing out whatever. Do you have a truck?
I have a truck. I have a truck I can tow with.
Okay.
Yeah, I tow my own trailers and stuff. And
at what point do you get concerned that like you've got these jobs coming in and you're not going to be able to sub out that next trailer? Like what is your fallback plan as the business starts scaling? Because it sounds like you're doing pretty well already. You're only 10 months in. You've owned a couple trailers of your own. You're subbing others. You've got the getting business part of it figured out. How are you scaling from both a revenue standpoint and just like the business plan?
Yeah, so I'm lucky that I have that company that I am able to sub the trailers out to. They have like 35 trailers, I think. They have a lot of inventory. And I always make sure with them before I sell the job, like I'll get the lead and I'll give the lead a price, like, hey, this is your quote. But I won't like take a deposit from that lead until I can confirm with the other company that I sub them from that they can fulfill the job.
They're not upset with you as competition?
No, I don't think we're really competition. I don't think they think of me as competition, and I don't think of them as competition. They're heavy into the film industry. Like they do a lot of film trailers, and I'm never going to try to compete with them on that. They also have a lot of porta potties as well, and they're in other markets like Dallas and stuff like that. So no, I don't think I really think of them as like competition, and I don't think they think of me as competition either.
Well, maybe they're grateful that they've got a toilet or a trailer sitting idle.
Yeah, like I'm basically just giving them a layup for.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Where back to scaling again, and you're using Facebook. Are you right now, like, are you comfortable with the amount of business? What's the long-term plan? What do you want to build this into?
Yeah, so I want to eventually obviously build and get more trailers, but I want to get more into the long-term leasing of these trailers. That's what I have. I have two of those on two of my trailers on long terms right now, and I want to continue to build that out because I mean, that's the name of the game. That's how these big companies are able to grow.
It's the long term primarily like construction contracts, or is
Yeah.
it?
So the ones I have on right now are actually at two separate warehouses. Basically, my understanding is they don't have enough restrooms in their warehouse to satisfy their amount of employees, so they are renting my restroom trailers.
Wow. Interesting. A lot of that has to be because Austin is such a thriving area right now. Thinking back to moving from Buffalo to Austin, did you already have the portable restroom in your mind and you felt Austin was the best location for it? Or were you moving to Austin regardless?
I was moving to Austin regardless. The idea for restroom trailers wasn't solidified until August of 2024 after I'd already been here for 2 months.
Because to go back to Buffalo again, you talk about just different, again, restrooms would probably be a lot more seasonal there. You'd have freezing problems, things like that. So this business probably works better in Austin than it would have in Buffalo.
100%.
Where do you see yourself like a year from now?
A year from now, I see myself having at least two more trailers. Ideally, 4 or 5 more, but financing is a tough thing. I just actually tried to apply for a loan for two more trailers through multiple banks. I got my funding up to 66,000, but they wouldn't give me more than that. I needed 85 because I actually got just last week, I'm subleasing this job to the company I was talking about, but I got for a school district needing two stations for 4 months. I wanted to buy the trailers for the job, but couldn't get approved because I just don't have the financing in place right now.
Is there lease options out there for the trailers?
Not that I'm aware of. There might be, though. That's a good question.
Have you already kind of established a relationship with a single vendor? I guess it's another question I have.
Yeah, so this was one of the problems with selling the job and then buying the trailer is I have to just take what's available. Like I work with Lang and Jag. My trailers are from Lang. I think you had them on the podcast, and then Jag, which is another manufacturer out in Indiana. So I have trailers from both of them. I want to keep, I have a good relationship with both of them, I think my future trailers will come from either one of them, but I'm not necessarily only going to go through one of them because they're last minute and I got to take what's available.
At this point, you got to take what you can get. I had said earlier in the podcast, I said, surprisingly, these things aren't just sitting on lots. It's not like they're RVs and you just go pick one out.
Yeah.
So I would think you've been doing this for a year. What do you think the biggest lesson you've learned is so far? Like I had said early on, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah. Biggest lesson I've learned so far.
And maybe you're still, maybe there's nothing that you've stumbled on that hard.
Yeah. I mean, I would say, it is, I know you said it's probably less seasonal here than it is in Buffalo, which is definitely true, but this is a very seasonal business still, at least for events. That's why I want to get into long terms. Events are very seasonal here in Austin. Like right now in summer, there's not much going on. It's the heat of summer. It's 100 degrees every day. So this is like August is definitely a slow period. July was a little slow too. And then winter, like I got my first trailer October 2024. Winter's like pretty dead. Like January and February are like dead. So it is seasonal, and I didn't I knew it would be a little bit seasonal, but it's like more seasonal than I thought it would be. Like spring and fall are our busy seasons. Summer and winter are a little dead.
Yeah, I think it's got to be that way anywhere, but I still think you're better off in Austin than you are in Buffalo. Yeah. Is probably the largest problem your business has right now, like cash flow or lack of credit? Yeah,
it's lack of credit. Cash flow is solid. Like we are cash flowing every month. Lack of credit is the big issue. Like, because being able to finance these trailers, they want to see, I'm only been in business 10 months. No one wants to give me all this money. So I don't have much business credit and I need to build that up. And everyone's telling me, hey, hit me up in in 12 or in 14 months once you've been in business 2 years and you have like strong credit. So yeah, lack of credit is definitely like what's holding me back right now.
What is the end game with this business? Do you plan on growing it and holding on to it in perpetuity, or is it like you kind of want to grow it and sell it?
I mean, I'm trying to build it to sell it. Not to say like I want to sell it, but like I think you should always be building a business to sell, because building a business to sell, all that means is like you have good systems in place and like, you know, it's not a mess. So yeah, I want to build to sell, not necessarily looking to sell anytime soon, but yeah, in 40 years when I'm 64, I don't see myself still doing this. Maybe I will be, but
what are there ideas you got shaking around in that head? Or if you don't want to share.
No, it's fine. I mean, I want to grow this, and I want to actually expand into potentially other adjacent industries. Like maybe like I could see myself after I get the truck, like a porta truck, getting a few portable toilets, and then maybe if it's profitable, I haven't really looked into it too much, like septic systems and stuff like that. Yeah, I think there's a lot of like ways to grow this business. Also, like grease traps, I don't know much about them, but they are very enticing to me. The fact that like these are like quarterly pump outs on restaurant grease traps. And I also think it'd be pretty easy to drum up that business, like if you know the right people and you get in the right rooms. So restaurant grease traps are pretty attractive to me. I don't know if that's going to happen or when that's going to happen, but yeah.
Well, it's fun to talk to a newbie, because I usually talk to all the old guys. So a guy only 10 months in, you seem to be doing well, and I appreciate talking to you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kieran.
Yeah.
Learn more about Kieran and his restroom trailer company, Platinum Potty, at platinumpotty.com. Please be sure to like and subscribe to keep more of this great content coming.